Welcome everybody to another Delboy video where I like to present a game that has one step in the past but has had a lick of paint to bring it up to today's modern audience. This one is a little bit of a difference because I ummed and ahed about whether I would even record this video because this is one where I think it was done very poorly. Although the game is definitely a homage to a classic game of the past, the fixtures and fixes that they've put in place just don't do the original justice. So what is this game? This is Boulder Dash, the 30th anniversary. And it's based on a classic game from 1984 that was on many systems, but mostly will be remembered for the Commodore and the Atari versions. The aim of the game is to guide a little character called Rockford through the caves, getting as many gems as possible, usually within a time limit, and avoid any boulders that might be nearby. There are also some creatures that could kill you, and there is always an exit at the end of each level, and there were quite a few levels. Now this is a modern version, and from my understanding this game was designed for mobiles and has therefore had a slight interface change to make it work on PCs. Now, why is it that I don't like this particular version of the game? Well, I'm hoping that when I start playing a few levels you'll see what I mean. But I'm just going to go through the menu for a moment, and you can see that there are quite a few nice options. You have a casual version where there is no time limit. You have a normal version where there is a time limit. And there's a hardcore level which has deadly falling gems. Now what that basically means is as much as rocks can fall on you and kill you, even the gems that fall from above and land on you will also kill you. It also makes a difference to some of the creatures where you can run past them and usually you can survive, where being next to one will kill you in hardcore level. There is also an editor, which is a welcome addition, in my opinion, where you can create your own dungeons. This is something that was also introduced into the original. Now at the top is where we start seeing some of this modernization, which I was talking about. You've got a gold number. Gold is something where you purchase within the game certain powers that will make the game easier. Now, this mechanic can be used or not used, so it's not that much of a hindrance to me, but the very nature of it being there takes away the whole point of the original game. You've got a character select because there is more than Rockford to play now. There are unlockable other characters, so as you can see, Rockford is here with no bonus. But you could also be Crystal, who has a +2 move speed, and it will go on and on in regards to abilities and characters. Then you have got those items that I was talking about for the mobile audience, where you can buy dynamite, you can see further into the screen, you can freeze creatures, and you can even increase your score by a certain percentage, all for gold, which I am dead against in this game. Then there are treasure chests. Now treasure chests is more like an achievement thing. If you get, say, a treasure chest in the game and basically you collect enough of them, it will unlock other worlds. So you'll see on this page here that there is a picture of a ghost. If I collect 30 ghosts in all of the levels that are invented in this game, I will open up the Halloween level, etc., etc. That type of mechanic isn't too bad. They're internal achievements, so I don't tend to have too much of an issue with them. And then there are the main achievements that are in Steam, where you need to complete the whole levels for you to get little trophies. And then there is the settings. Now I'm going to go through the settings just very, very quickly with you, and I'm going to do it from within the game. So I'm going to go to Intro Caves and go to level 1, but I'm not going to play level 1 just yet, because I'm going to show you what the game looks like. So as you can see, they've modernized the graphics into a sort of a cartoony type look. Okay, when I hit play, I can bring up the menu, bring up the options, and I can change things like the field of view, whether I want it full screen, whether I want any anti-aliasing, and I can also give the game environment depth field. Now I'll just show you the field of view. So if I move the field of view all the way to the right and then click save and resume, I can now see the whole cave, including the exit. I don't like that, so usually I'll turn that off, go to options and bring the field of view much lower, and that brings that back so that I can only see so much of the cave. Makes it much more difficult. Now if I actually add depth to the environment, it puts on a sort of a skew-if 3D-ish type of effect. I don't know if you can see, but the boulders now are sort of not round, and you can see the gems are sort of like pushed into the dirt. Again, not something that I particularly like. So we'll escape from that, change the options, put it back to 2D, and I think that looks far better. So we'll escape out of this, hit restart, and I'm going to have a little bit of a game so you can see how the mechanic works. So you move left to right and down, and basically you're supposed to pick up the jewels. Now the first hurdle here is there is a block, but you can see that there is a piece of earth to the right that is sunken. So I can push that into there and I can get to the gem. Once I've got all the gems, you go into the exit, and that's the end of the level. Very, very simple. Now this works on that mobile system of 3 stars. If you got nearly all of the gems, you'd get 2. If you did it in the fastest time, you get 3 plus the gems, etc., etc. Again, a mobile mechanic which I don't particularly like. And as you can see, for the intro caves, there are 20 levels. That's quite a few. We'll just quickly go to the second level. And you can see that the game will get slightly harder, and they'll introduce you to more mechanical stuff. So we'll hit play, move that boulder, and as you can see, I can get those gems very, very easy without the boulders landing on me. And so far so good. Nothing terrifically causing me many hassles here. Now you'd think that I might have caused a problem there, but if I go down to the right, right again, and up, I've got that gem without causing me any problems. Go down all the way to the right, down, and there we are, into the exit, no problems. So far so good. The mechanics of the game are there. Okay. And there are, from that first introduction screen, you can see that there are a number of worlds. There's Boulder Mountain, Jade Garden, Big Stone Dragon. You know, it goes on and on. And if I go into, say, the second level, which is Boulder Mountain, you'll see there is another 20 levels. So quite a substantial number when you consider that there's all these worlds, and they all probably have about 20 levels. Now, I was talking about the Halloween look, and you can see here that to get to Halloween, I need to have a certain amount of stars, 60 in this case. So there is a star count, which is just over here. And you can see that I can nearly open the Halloween level if I wanted to. And then there is the undeniable, what you will find in all mobile games, downloadable content. And in the downloadable content at the moment, there are two types. There is a classic remix, which is 20 levels of the original game, now looking like this with the modern coat of paint. And there is the bouldering comp, which is actually the original Boulder Dash creators' 20 additional levels that have not been seen in a Boulder Dash game since, which is quite tempting. Okay, so we'll quickly go into the classic and we'll show you level 1. And level 1 is exactly as it was on the Commodore 64 and the Atari, only with the additional lick of paint. So we click play, and you can see that we start off quite simply, moving through this quite quickly, up, left, right, and you get to the end of the cave. Just if you take all these things quite gently, you tend to find that this is quite a relaxing, simplish type game. Not many things are going to kill you in these very early stages. As you can see, I'm building up the gems. You can hear the exit is now open. I'm still getting gems though. Why not? I am a bit of a score pig. Trying to get as much of a score as I can. I could really cock myself up here, but so far nothing is really giving me much of a threat. Down to the exit, and I did it with 3 stars with time left. 18 of the gems where only 12 were required, etc, etc. And I've won some things that only are valid later on in the game. So we'll do another one, which a lot of people will remember, of the second level of Boulder Dash. And it is the small cross-section maze from the second. There we are, that was a bit silly. So let's start again. Okay, we go up, wait for that rock to fall. There we go. I forgot about that rock, to be quite honest. So this is a sort of a crosshair type maze. And as long as you take things slowly, there's generally very little other than there is an introduction of a creature. Now, you can drag things as well. But you shouldn't really need to, because you can just push them into little crevices like I can see there. Now, I could let that out, but I don't need to. That would be if I wanted to get more gems than is needed. We're just going along now just to get the gems that are required. As you can see, it's quite simple so far. Nothing too compelling or life-threatening at the moment. This one looks a little bit more tricky. Yeah. So I've opened the exit is now open. I've got 1 over what I need, and what I could do with that butterfly that you saw right there on is that I could drag him all the way along here, bring him up here, and then drop that boulder on him. We won't do that. We don't really need to. There's the exit, and we're finished. Because I think we ought to do a little bit of a roundup now on just why I don't think this game works. So Boulder Dash to me is a classic game, a game where I had lots and lots of fun on my Commodore 64, trying to go through the caves and getting as many gems as possible. But what it also did was it allowed something that had never really happened to me before, and that is get my parents involved. Now, they weren't that into computer games, but I remember that I was going out with a girl and her mother would not come off of this game. Now, I used to go round their house and bring round a couple of games for them to play on, and I took Boulder Dash round, and I didn't get that game back for a year, because this was very early on in the Commodore 64 cycle, and I used to like lending games to people as much as a lot of people were pirating them at the time. So this was a game that I thought was definitely for all ages, and definitely one where I could introduce people that wouldn't normally be into games. But this particular version tries to do that but fails, because it tries to bring in that horrible mechanic of in-game purchases. It also tries to put a lick of paint which cutifies something that doesn't need doing. Boulder Dash had its issues in its scroll routine and it looking a bit bland, but you're in a cave, so all of those things sort of could be put to one side for a moment. This one adds shiny paint, flashes, little stars, gems that glow, all that sort of stuff, and to me it didn't need it. It wasn't wanted, but they added it anyway. Its saving grace, therefore, for me is the editor. In the editor you can design your own levels, and you can see all of the creatures here, and they all have different abilities. Some of these abilities are from the original game. Some, I believe, like the dragon, were not in the game before. Once you design those games, you can upload them into the Steam Workshop and other people can play them. If you know of people that have purchased this game, then basically that is really good, because you'll be able to share your levels. Because if you ever played the original game, you could actually do the same, save your levels, but you'd need to put them onto tape or disc, and they would need to load them into their game to see them, which was a bit of a bugbear. So in conclusion, this is a game where it was done wrong, in my opinion. But I do hope that you got some entertainment of looking at this particular game. If you wish to purchase it, it's still quite expensive. It's around about £13-14. There is a more up-to-date version called Boulder Dash Deluxe, which again is in the same ballpark figure price-wise. But if I were you, there is a game on Steam called Get the Gems. It costs £2 and will give you more enjoyment than this. So I hope you've got some entertainment, and I'm going to leave you now with my conclusion of Boulder Dash 30th anniversary, which is, it's not really worth it. Bye bye.